Hey, welcome back to the Debt Sucks podcast. I'm Ben Matthews, bankruptcy attorney, professional chaos translator, and your guide through the financial obstacle course we call adulting. And if you're listening while driving to work, folding laundry, hiding from your kids in the pantry, or pretending to enjoy a treadmill session, welcome. You're among friends. Today we're talking about something I call the ultimate adulting stress test. Because adulthood isn't one big exam you study for. Nobody hands you a syllabus, there's no review session, there's no Scantron. Instead, adulthood is a never-ending series of money decisions. Showing up constantly while life keeps moving and you're already tired. You don't get to pause life to prepare. You're taking the test while raising kids, while working, while worrying, while trying to remember if you switched to laundry. And here's the truth I see every single day in my law office. Most people do not get into financial trouble because of one spectacularly terrible decision. It's not usually, I bought a yacht during a midlife crisis. It's normal life. A car breaks down, a kid needs braces, insurance goes up, rent jumps, groceries suddenly cost the same as a small mortgage payment. You make the best decision you can with incomplete information, under pressure, while emotionally exhausted. See, that's the stress test. And the tricky part, most people don't even realize they're taking it until their finances start sweating before they do. Segment 1. What is the adulting stress test? The adulting stress test is actually very simple. Life throws something at you. Job loss, medical issue, child care cost spike, divorce, home repair, aging parent crisis, inflation doing whatever inflation feels like doing this week. And your financial structure either absorbs it or cracks. That's it. You don't pass because you're rich. You don't pass because you're stable. I've represented surgeons who failed the stress test. I've represented teachers who passed it beautifully. Income helps, but structure matters more because the real question isn't how much do you make, it's how fragile is your life. Adulting becomes dangerous when everything works only if nothing goes wrong. And spoiler alert, something always goes wrong. Segment 2, the myth of I'll be fine. Here's one of the biggest lies we tell ourselves. Once I make a little more money, everything will calm down. I hear this constantly. People think stability lives just one promotion away. But what usually happens? Income goes up and lifestyle quietly follows it like a golden retriever with a credit card. Bigger house, nicer car, more subscriptions, travel financed by future optimism. Suddenly you're making more money, but you're no safer. You've just upgraded your stress level. You didn't remove pressure, you resized it. This is why high earners still end up in my office saying, Ben, I don't understand. We make good money. And they do. But every dollar already has an assignment. No margin, no buffer, no flexibility. They're financially successful and structurally fragile. Segment 3, real stress test scenarios. Let's run some real-world stress tests. These are not hypotheticals. These are Tuesday afternoons in my office. Scenario 1, health insurance shock. Hey, this one sneaks up on people. No crisis, no bad decision. Your health insurance just skyrockets. Premiums rise, deductibles jump, coverage somehow feels smaller while costing more. You can cancel streaming services. You can delay vacations. You cannot responsibly skip health insurance. If your finances have margins, you adjust. Annoying, but manageable. But if things were already tight, raises disappear, savings stall, credit cards quietly fill the gap. And what makes this stress test dangerous is there's no dramatic moment. Just slow financial pressure, building month after month. You're doing everything right and still feel behind. That's not failure. That's the adulting stress test showing how rising costs expose fragile structures. Because stability isn't about avoiding expenses. It's about surviving them without losing your peace. Scenario 2, the aging parent moment. See, this one hits differently because it's not just financial, it's emotional. Mom needs help. Dad's health decline. Doctor visits multiply. Someone has to drive, wait, call insurance, and figure things out. Suddenly, you're managing 2 households. You want to help. Of course you do. But this is where the adulting stress test shows up. If your finances have margin, you help thoughtfully. Maybe you can take time off work, travel when needed, be present without worrying which bill won't get paid. Your money protects your time supports your family. But if you're already maxed out, every decision carries weight. You're answering emails from hospital chairs, rearranging childcare, losing sleep, and financially you swipe and pray. Gas, hotels, prescriptions, unexpected costs that don't wait for payday. Now it's not just money stress, it's emotional stress, time stress, and energy drain all at once. Because financial fragility steals flexibility. It turns moments meant for presence into moments filled with financial calculations. That's why stability matters. Financial margin doesn't just buy comfort. It buys the ability to show up when life really matters. Scenario 3, job loss. Income drops 30%, maybe temporarily, maybe longer, and suddenly the adulting stress test gets real. This is where we find out whether your life was flexible or fragile. If fixed costs were reasonable, you pivot. You already know where your money goes. You cut intentionally. You use savings strategically. You adjust calmly instead of reacting emotionally. Because if you've been regularly using the Debt Sucks tools, the Brutally Honest Money Breakdown, and the Level Up Plan, you're not guessing. You can see the numbers. You know what can pause. You know what matters most. You make decisions from clarity, not fear. But if everything was stretched, you spiral. Not because you failed, but because your structure left no room for reality. The breakdown gives visibility before crisis. Level Up gives options during it. They don't prevent hard moments. They help you respond like a strategist instead of a firefighter. And in adulthood, that difference changes everything. Scenario 4, the home repair ambush. Your HVAC system does not care about your budget. It dies in July, in the South, at 4:45 p.m. on a Friday. The technician walks in like a financial grim reaper and says, "That'll be $8,200. Now we learn something important. Emergency expenses aren't rare. They're scheduled. You just don't know the date yet. The hidden pattern. Notice something? It's rarely the event. It's the structure before the event. The stress test doesn't create fragility, it exposes it. Most people didn't make reckless choices. They optimized for comfort instead of resilience. They were taught success meant bigger, newer, nicer, faster. But nobody taught us durability. And durable people don't look flashy. They look boring. They drive paid-off cars. They hesitate before upgrading. They quietly build a shit happens fund nobody sees. They're not lucky. They're prepared. Segment 4, listener question. Let's bring in a listener question because I think a lot of you will recognize yourselves here. Sarah from Ohio writes, Ben, I feel like I'm constantly behind even though we make decent money. Every time we catch up, something else happens. Are we doing something wrong? Sarah, great question. And the answer is no. You're not doing something wrong. You're experiencing modern adulthood. Most households today operate at maximum capacity, which means normal life starts to feel like constant crisis management. This is exactly why I built the True Wealth Playbook, because most money advice treats finances like math. Spend less, earn more, budget harder. But after helping thousands of people, I've learned the real issue isn't math, it's stability. You're not failing money. You're facing repeated adulting stress tests without enough recovery time between them. It's like sprinting every day with no rest. Eventually, everyone burns out. The True Wealth Playbook reframes wealth as 5 kinds of stability working together: money control, time control, relationship stability, energy stability, quiet confidence. When those stabilize, life stops feeling like emergency mode. What most people are missing isn't discipline, it's margin, breathing room. And the goal isn't perfection, it's durability. So when life throws the next stress test, you don't feel behind, you feel prepared. Segment 5, how to pass the adulting stress test. Now let's talk solutions. This is where the Debt Sucks Stability Blueprint comes in. If you want to pass the adulting stress test, 1, you keep costs reasonable. Your housing and transportation choices determine your flexibility, not your income, not your credit score, your fixed cost. Your goal isn't maximum approval, it's maximum survivability. Just because the bank approves it doesn't mean adulting can sustain it. See, this is where the brutally honest money breakdown becomes powerful. When you complete it, and more importantly, when you revisit it regularly, you stop guessing about affordability. You can actually see how much income is locked into fixed payments, how much flexibility you truly have, whether a new obligation strengthens your life or makes it fragile. 2. Use the Level Up Money Plan. And when you pair the brutally honest money breakdown with the Level Up Money Plan, you start making decisions based on where you are on your journey, not where you hope to be someday. Because smart adulting isn't about buying what you qualify for, it's about building a life that can absorb surprises without panic. Visibility reduces panic. Know where your money is going, not perfectly, just honestly. The rock pile isn't about spreadsheets or financial perfection. It's about awareness. And the reason the brutally honest money breakdown works so well is because it gives you a reasonable check-in point. When you use it regularly, monthly or quarterly, you always know where you stand. You know what's improving, what's drifting, what needs adjustment before it becomes a crisis. Then the Level Up Money Plan turns that awareness into action. It answers the question, given where I am right now, what's the next smart move? Not the perfect move, just the next move. Because clarity beats optimism every time. And people who regularly check their numbers don't avoid stress tests. They pass them because they already know their position when life pushes back. 3. Grow the Shit Happens Fund. I know, I talk about this one a lot on the podcast. And some of you are thinking, Ben, we've heard this before. You have. And there's a reason I keep coming back to it. So we're not doing a deep dive today. But understand this. I repeat it because this is the single biggest difference I see between people who panic during life events and people who stay steady. The Shit Happens Fund isn't optional. Life will bill you. The only question is whether you pay calmly or emotionally. Car repair, medical deductible, travel emergency, broken appliance, unexpected life moments. These aren't rare events. They're scheduled events. You just don't know the date yet. Even $50 saved consistently changes outcomes. Every $100 creates breathing room. Small buffers become big protection because the goal isn't to eliminate problems. It's to make sure problems don't turn into financial crises. And that's why I keep talking about it. Not because it's exciting, but because it works. 4, avoid payment stacking, especially when income goes up. One of the most dangerous phrases in adulting is, we can afford it monthly. Individually, every payment looks reasonable. Car payment, furniture financing, new phone, credit cards, streaming subscriptions you forgot you signed up for. None feel reckless alone, but stack enough reasonable payments together and you get financial suffocation, death by monthly convenience. And here's the trap. When income goes up, spending gets easier. You get a raise, finally breathe a little, and lifestyle quietly expands with it. Not because you're irresponsible, because you're human. But adulting doesn't get safer if payments rise as fast as income. More income should create margin, not more obligation. Raises should reduce pressure, not increase survival costs. Because flexibility, not income, is what helps you pass the adulting stress test. Segment 6, the hard truth. Here's the part nobody loves hearing. Some of you listening right now are currently in a stress test, and you didn't realize how exposed things were until life pushed back. That's okay. Clarity isn't condemnation, it's direction. You are not late, you are not broken. You're just becoming aware. And awareness is where stability begins, because the next stress test is coming. Not because life hates you, but because life is life. Cars age, bodies age, jobs change, parents need help. That's not pessimism, that's adulthood. Segment 7, the mindset shift. The goal of money decisions isn't to impress people, it's to reduce panic. Financial success isn't luxury, it's calm. The ability to handle bad news without immediate fear. The ability to adjust instead of collapse. That's real wealth. And interestingly, nobody notices it from the outside. You won't post about it, you just sleep better. Hey, let's get real for a sec. The Debt Sucks plan, it's awesome. It works. But not everyone has the time or the patience to chip away at their financial Mount Everest. Maybe you're drowning right now, like creditors calling your grandma, paycheck gone before it lands, sleepless nights count as drowning. Sound familiar? Listen, you don't have to white knuckle your way through this alone. Instead of spending years battling debt $1 at a time, I've got you. Bankruptcy isn't a failure, it's a fresh start. And sometimes hitting reset is the smartest thing you can do. At my law firm here in South Carolina, we take the time to listen to your story and help you figure out if bankruptcy is the right choice for you. No pressure, no judgment, just straight answers and real solutions. And if you don't live in South Carolina, don't worry. I can connect you with a trusted attorney in your state. Wherever you are, help is closer than you think. So if you're ready to stop the stress and start fresh, visit debtsucks.info to share a little about your situation or call my office for a free consultation. Let's find your path forward together, because sometimes you don't need a plan, you need a damn lifeline. Let me be that lifeline. Adulting is a stress test, and your structure determines the outcome. Adulting is hard. Debt makes it harder, but stability makes you durable, and durability is what I call true wealth. Not perfection, not flashy success, not impressing strangers on the internet. True wealth is the ability to handle real life without panic. When life throws punches, durable people don't collapse. They adjust, they recover, they move forward. That's what we're building here. One decision, one tool, one level up at a time. If today's episode helped you, do me a favor, follow the podcast, leave a review, share it with someone who feels financially overwhelmed. Because chances are they're in an adulting stress test too. And sometimes the first step toward true wealth is realizing you're not alone. I'll see you next week.